Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a fully loaded Ram 1500 Rebel. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Dodge Ram here in Sandy for giving me some time with this Rebel. Check out their inventory link below. Let's get right into the video. Under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 5.7 liter Hemi V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now this one does have the e-torque Hemi, so it's good for 18 around town and then 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 395 horsepower and then 410 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go to the front end of this Rebel. So first off, this one's finished in granite crystal, and notice how we have the venting right here, and then you've got the 1500 e-torque Hemi badge, and then you've got some more venting at the top, which looks really good. Now I've got the full LED lights here, so there's still reflector lights with the accent lights above and below, and then we have the fog lights just down below that, and then you guys can see we've got parking sensors integrated in the front. We've got the signature Rebel skid plate with the tow hooks on either side, and then notice we've got the Ram logo with the camera there just below the A, and aside from that, there is the front end. Coming around the side here, we've got two 75mm tires wrapped around 18-inch wheels in the front and in the rear, aka 33s. And going from that, you guys can see we've got the off-road shocks there with the suspension in the front, and this one has a standard suspension, no air suspension or anything like that. And then there's a better look at those tires. And then you guys can see from the bumper to the fender flare how that all connects. And then the side steps this one's equipped with, and then you've got the blacked out Ram logo. This one has the trailer mirrors as well. And then aside from that, let's take a step back here so you guys can see the full side view. Sorry about the lighting, it's kind of dark under here, but there's your full side view, or at least what we can see. And then popping here to the rear, notice how we have the wheelhouse liner there in the back, and yeah, that's all. Now here's our key fob for the Rebel. Notice we got the Ram logo on the back, we got the unlock, the lock, the remote start, and then the drop down for the tailgate. Payload capacity is 1,344 pounds, if you guys are wondering. Notice we have the liner here from the factory. We've got LED lights, because this one has the bed utility group, and then you guys can see the LED light there at the top, and then you guys can see the rest of the rails here. Well, it's kind of hard because, well, it's dark back here. But anyways, lifting up the tailgate, light and easy to get into place. Now finishing things here in the rear, we're going to unlock it so you guys can see the taillights. We've got the LEDs here in the back. This one does have the bed step, and then we've got all of our regular logos here in the back for the Rebel. And then you guys can see we've got the darkened bumpers with the parking sensors here in the back, and then also we've got the blacked out exhaust tips, and then the receiver hitch towing capacity is right around 11,000 pounds roughly. And other than that, that's the rest of the rear. Now here's the door panel in the rear, and this is where things get pretty exciting. So this right here is not padded, but we've got padding here in this portion of the door panel, and then just down below the stitching, and then you got the blacked out trim, and then we have more leather right there. We've got one of the speakers for the sound system, and then we have the full leather seats here in the back. Notice we've got the stitching all throughout, perforated leather as well. I'm just gonna move this to the side for a second. Rubber floor mats that do come with the Rebel, and then these seats don't have the recline seat function. They're just the regular seats. You guys can see we've got the ice bucket down below in that area, and then we've got the storage space underneath the seat as well. And then coming over here, you guys can see we've got this in the center. This is kind of like the center console area for the back passengers, kind of, sort of. We've got the cup holders up here though. It's the second center console, I guess, but it's also just mostly an armrest. But continuing along here, we got the vents here. Notice we got the heated seats, you got some USBs, a power outlet. So at least we get heated seats for the rear. No ventilated seats though for the rear, anything like that. And well, so you go. Now here's the door panel at the front. So same thing as the rear. You got the padding here, and then that portion, then where you're gonna rest your arm, then the blacked out trim. Got all of our window controls. This does have the power folding trailer mirrors. They also do have blind spot monitoring. And then we've got the memory seat function right there. And then a couple more speakers here for the sound system. And then here are the seats at the front. So again, leather here. Notice we got the Rebel logo. You've got the perforated leather here on the center portion. Got your adjustments on the side of the seat. And then notice we got the pedals just down below. You've got the adjustments for the pedals, you've got the parking brake, light controls with the fog lights, and then the cargo light. The steering wheel is manually adjustable, and there is one more look before we pop in. So here's the steering wheel in the Rebel. We've got really nice leather at the top and at the bottom. And then you've got perforated leather here on the side, so you get a little bit of a better grip. There are radio controls on the back, and I'll try to show those on camera so you guys can see that. And then notice we have our adaptive cruise control and regular cruise control, so they give you the option to use either. Gear limiter right here, and then you got our voice command controls for the center stack. You've got your turn signal / windshield wiper stock just behind. And yeah, that's all for the steering wheel. Now here is the center gauge cluster for the Rebel. So notice we've got analog gauges on either side, which look really good. And then you have the Rebel logo there at the top. And then we have this menu here in the center, which you can scroll through different bits of vehicle information. You have the off-road status, which is very important for the Rebel, being the off-road package. I notice that's for the safety stuff like the adaptive cruise control. But yeah, there's a bunch of different menus you can go through here, and I'll just kind of go through the rest of them so you guys can see everything. 11 different menus, quite a bit. And yeah, that's all for that. So here is the whole center infotainment section, but we're gonna go off to the side so you guys can see. You've got the climate controls on either side, and sorry about the lighting. It's kind of hard, and the infotainment system's so bright that it just completely does everything out for the camera. But this also has lane departure up here, and then this is the parking assistance, and then you've got the hazard lights, and there's a 12 volt at the top. But going into the infotainment system itself, first off, if we pop it into reverse, notice that the backup camera pops up. We've got the bird's eye view, and then we've got all of the camera views here with the Rebel. There's quite a bit, so notice full 360 camera, and you can go to the front and notice we have tire marks there. That is very helpful for off-roading, so you can see exactly where you're going. So I think that's a huge thing. And then notice also that you have the auxiliary too, but then we also have right camera view, so I think it's cool. And then also left camera view, so like it shows you everything. So like if you were taking this truck down trails, very, very useful. Or I guess if you're trying to park it or something, that's also gonna be useful. But yeah, there's just so many camera views now. Moving from that, we got the climate controls. Notice we still just have heated seats and heated steering wheel, no air conditioned seats, dual zone climate though. And then as for the rest of the screen, response time is great. It's easy to use. This is like the navigation right there at the top, which is pretty cool. And then you have like our media over here, and then we're already in comfort. And then if you want to go like full screen with the nav, look at this. The graphics on it are pretty cool, actually. It almost reminds me of a video game in a sense. And then you get your phone, which we're going to skip over, vehicle. And then finally we have the apps, and notice you have Android Auto, but you guys can see you have the favorites, recent, and then you can go into all the categories, and then you can go to all. So I like how it has those different things, so that depending on what you want, you can go into it. So if you're like, yep, I just use these things, then boom, you have to just star them if you want those to be your favorites, if you guys were wondering. But yeah, that's all for the infotainment system section. Now, so we've got our parking sensor button right down here, tow haul mode, stability control. This has the trailer steering. You've got the trailer brake controls as well. And then notice that we have the dial shifter. You got your two-wheel drive, your four-wheel auto, four-wheel high, and then four-wheel low, true neutral, auto stop start, hill descent control, and then the axle lock, all in that section right there. We have the center console here for the Rebel, which has tons of nice leather and stitching. And notice the difference here with the design on the outside. But yeah, decent amount of storage space. Still have the measuring tables there. And then you guys can see this slides backwards and forwards. And then in here, you guys can see we've got the wireless phone charger. It's kind of hard to see, but it is there. Got the power outlet as well. And then notice we've got some USBs and then some extra storage space in that section. So this is a nice change. You guys can see we've got the extended leather here on the dash with the Rebel now, and you can see it's all over. Just like the TRX though, this right here is actually not leather. It's just plastic with stitching through it, but the top portion is actually leather, and it continues to the center. And then you guys can see that for the Harman Kardon sound system. But yeah, definitely gives it a much more premium feel now, kind of makes it feel like a luxury off-roader, I guess. And then down below with the glove box, that still functions all the same. Still have the Rebel logo on the outside of that as well. Now here at the top, we do have my favorite feature in any vehicle. We've got the camera mirror, which definitely adds tons of practicality to the truck. And then we do have a power rear sliding window as well. Surprise, surprise, universal garage openers, but no sunroof. And you guys will see the MSRP. It's pretty pretty hefty, but yeah, there is no center, but we do have an all black headliner, which is nice. So here's our window sticker for the Rebel. Again, 2022. Notice the base MSRP, $52,000. And doesn't show much for the standard equipment because, again, this has tons of options. So let's go over the options and figure out why this thing is as expensive as it is. So first off, technology group heads-up display, and then the digital rear view mirror, $1,095. You guys know I'm a fan of that. Comfort group. So driver seat memory, heated second row seats, power tailgate, wireless charging pad. Okay. Got the trailer tow group. So the trailer mirrors, reverse trailer guidance, all that fun stuff. Advanced safety group, which makes sense, right? Bunch of safety tech with the blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, automatic high beams, adaptive cruise control. So, makes sense. Bed utility group, and then we got the monotone paint. Now this has the Rebel 12 package, which adds a bunch of features, including the 12-inch display, hence the 12 in the name. And then you guys can see you've got the Rebel 2 equipment group, which is another $3,000 on top of that. And that adds even more features like Android Auto, for example. And then electronic shift on the demand transfer case, $200, not too bad. 5.7 Hemi with e-torque is now $22.95. And then black power fold trailer mirrors. So the trailer tow group doesn't give you the folding mirrors. You have to pay extra to make them so they power fold in. And then we got the side steps, the wheelhouse liners. And then we have a 26-gallon fuel tank, which is somehow optional. Don't know why. I thought the 33-gallon was optional. But anyways, blind spot by itself, spray and bed liner as well, which I thought the spray and bed liner came with the bed utility group, but it doesn't anymore. So you have to get those separate. But yeah, $70,530 for the total MSRP. That is craziness. So this Rebel right here that you guys are looking at is the same base price as a Ram TRX. Pretty crazy, right? Now that's gonna sum things up for our video on this 2022 Ram 1500 Rebel that is pretty much fully loaded. But anyways, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Schmiller Dodge Ram here in Sandy for giving me some time with the Rebel. Check out their inventory and link below. I will see all of you in the next video.